Turn on OBS and let's go. So I um started this already. Uh this commander building deck. I'm not gonna post it on TikTok. I'm just gonna have it on YouTube. No one really watches them, but it's cool. I like to just talk about my decks, what I work on, and some are really personal to me. Like I really, excuse me, I'm burped. I put a lot like into it. That's not like a typical picked out commander. I started going through this one, but I had to stop in the middle of it, so I'm gonna start over. Liesa, Shroud of Dusk. There's a couple things in here. While I was naming them off, I realized I don't have in here that I should. So if anybody does watch this and maybe give me tips, that would be awesome. Or other cards that would work well. There is like one new card that I remember talking about that I was really excited for, but this is Liesa's Shroud of Dusk. Rather than pay 2 of each previous time you've cast your spell from the command zone this game, pay 2 life that many times. So it's kind of cool. You don't have to pay the extra tax, only in life if you want. And it's just flying and lifelink, so that's good too. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. So that's huge to lose 2 life over just a spell. She's a pain in the butt. People hate her. It's tough because she is a 5. But the part about recasting her with life is a big reason why I still work with her. And during when Ravnica returned, I was starting to play a lot more paper Magic. And I like a lot of the lose life, gain life things. So I know a lot of people I've heard say they think it's kind of cheesy. So I try to make it a little bit different, but I don't know. The ones I'm gonna start off with are gain and lose, but maybe you could give me other ideas. But there are some I came across. I'm like, this could go out. So Bloodthirsty Aerolist. Forgive me because the last one I kept messing up words. It's been a long day. Vampire Rogue, flying when you gain life. Put a 1/1 counter on it. It's not bad because I'm gonna plan on getting a lot of life and you'll just stack her up with flying. A lot of people have to have a flyer or some way to block it. Flying's always, I think, a nasty edge over people because if you don't have flyers, it's really hard to stop it. Cleric of Life and Bond. This is one that I was iffy on when I was looking at this because if clerics enter, you gain 1 life. That'd be huge. If I have a bunch of clerics, I guess I'll keep my eye open if there's any more clerics in here. I know Veto is. That's the big pain in the ass for everybody. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, you get a 1/1 counter. So slowly, you could get him build up. He is only a 2-drop. It's a fair trade, 2/2, but the 1/1s can go up quick if you play it right. And it's nice to have these lower costs to get in first. Corpse Knight, again, whenever another creature you control enters, each opponent loses a life. It's a little one-sided, but I think it does enough. It's a body in there for 2 with a 2/2, and just people, have a creature enter. They're going to be entering. Creeping Bloodsucker at the beginning of your upkeep. He deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain life equal to that damage this way. Again, another way of gaining life. This is really good. I like this a lot for a 2-drop. It just will keep happening, and you'll keep gaining life equal to the damage dealt. And if you got, of course, multiple people in your pod, it really does help a lot. Daxos, blessed by the sun. His toughness is equal to your devotion to white. The white is pretty low in my deck. There's more. It's black and white, but I would say there's more black. But when another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. So that's pretty good. That's why I think I have him in there, and he's cheap to get in. So the devotion, is a thing, but he at least will come in as a 2/2 with his own pips. And this is the new one I had, Defiling Daemogoth. I really liked it. It's costly. It's a 5. It has Menace. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain 1 life. That's pretty cool already, but at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life, where X is the amount life you gain. So that's really freaking good. If you're getting these little pingers and getting life here and life there during your turn, and let's say Liesa hits, they cast a spell. They cast 2 spells till it gets back to you. They lose 4 life. We're gonna get what is it? At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses. Oh, it has to be your turn. So yeah, I guess if they cast during that turn, I don't know, but I think overall that's still good though. It can add up and start pinging them pretty well. And it's based off the life you're gaining, so that's really cool. We have drawn a mystery. Flying at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. That's just constant. I think it's not bad. For 3/2/2, it's okay, but the ability is really good because it's just like an upkeep thing going on. Again, I know people get annoyed with some of these things. I think I learned over time, but I really just enjoyed this when I first got into playing like paper Magic. I did a lot with Orzhov on Arena, and there's a lot of fun things I liked. And actually, some of them are missing in here, like Elinda of the Dusk Rose. Is it? I don't know. I had a commander deck with her, but I switched her out. I changed my vampire deck. Actually, no, I think she's still my vampire deck. Yeah, I think she still is. But she would still fit perfect in this. I swear I put her in it. I got to go through my deck again. Because with Moxfield, I try to just keep up to date with it. So when I need to look at, like, oh, what's in my deck, I don't have to pull it out and see what a new card I got, where I can make room or whatever. That's why I kind of like using Moxfield now. And I just make these videos to talk about my decks and hopefully get feedback. One day people will watch it. But if not, whatever. I'm having my own fun. So we have Elias, a core, Satanistic Pilgrim. He is a cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. Similar to some of the other ones. Again, 2-drop for 2/2, not bad. Enduring Tenacity is 4, and it does whenever you gain life, that opponent loses that much life. A lot of weird, funky things going on with gaining, losing, gaining. This is always cool because it turns into an artifact after it dies. Ghost Council, I swear, as my commander one time. But I can't remember if it was the other one. But when he enters, target opponent loses 1 life and gain 1 life. I don't like that much. So this one's like on the fence when I'm looking at it. Sacrifice a creature for 1, and you exile Ghost of Orzhova. Return it to the battlefield under its opponent's control at the beginning of the end step. So you do get that blink ability with him to keep making them lose and gain life. But I don't know if it's worth to keep paying for that. I don't know. I'm on the fence with him. Gift to Aetherboard's great. I think it's a good body to have. Death Touch, Lifelink, either way. If we need to just kill something big that wants to hit us, nice little way to just kill it. 2 blacks, definitely worth it. Anything Death Touch, Lifelink together is just really good, I think. This is Gary the Gray. So when you use the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. Like I showed you earlier, I think it's more black in my devotion, as far as my enchantments and creatures go. You gain life equal to that life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So I think he's really good. A 5 uncommon, 2/4, but his ability is just really good if you stick it right. Indulging Patrician? I was gonna say Partition. I told you I'm on one tonight. I remember playing him a lot. And I remember thinking, why a 3/1/4? But he had flying lifelink, so a lot of people in sealed or draft couldn't stop him. And I was getting to the point where I was getting, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. And it was just working well with a couple other cards. And I remember him just doing so well. So with this, it does help a lot. Especially if you have Liesa out, you will probably get to that. It's hard because it would have to be on your turn, but it does work overall. I usually end up getting 3 life per turn, usually. And this is all annoying. This is all nuisance. I don't want to think it's broken because people have things to get rid of them, things to kill them, stronger creatures. It's not like it's crazy built, CDH1 deck or anything. This is just a fun deck. It's not crazy, but I just think it can be annoying that someone's like, oh, this is all you're doing is just gaining life, taking life. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. Kambal, the console. I have the other Kambal token deck, which I'm really excited to talk about. I finished that deck. I don't know, maybe about 2 months ago. It was really cool to make. I really enjoyed it. Played it a couple times. It goes off really well, giving people tokens and you make tokens. It's just nuts. Yeah, but this is him as the console of allocation. Whenever an opponent casts 2 non-creature spells, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So this is great. You're getting 2 life on it and they're losing 2 life. It's a big jump, really big jump. And they could pop off with things, and it's a reason why it's the a decent $9, $10 card that I feel like has been around for a while and gets little love, but it's really good. This is new avatar card. May Scornful Striker. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. Same thing, but we don't get to get any life out of it. But I think for 2, it's well worth it. And she has first strike, so I think I think it's a good pick to put in there. I remember I'm gonna butcher all these. Marting Blight Priest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses life. This is why maybe I enjoyed having these in there, because they're clerics as well. Again, whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. That's little, but it does tack up. 3 drop for it is a bit much, but she is a 3/2. She have flying, I'd be way more excited to have her. She's definitely one that maybe can go if I needed to. If I get advice from people to get better cards in here. Definitely is one that I could probably drop, but she is a cleric, so it helps out with the other card earlier. Murderous Rider is another one I could probably drop. It's got lifelink 2/3. It does have ability to destroy for 3. That's a good thing to have in your hand. But you do lose 2 life, but if you're gaining all that life, it shouldn't matter really. So I don't know. He's in the middle for me. Like, he might be worth a stay just to have that way to kill someone if you need to. If not, it's just a body out there with lifelink, and then he stays in your deck. Goes on the bottom if he dies. Noxious Gearhulk, another one that's kind of odd, I feel like, in here, but when he enters, you may destroy another target creature. If the creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. So it's a good way to get life, but it's a one-trick pony. It is 6. The only good thing about it is he has menace and he's a 5/4. That's the biggest thing I think about it. It is cool that he destroys something, but he has to be played at the right time. I don't know if he should be in this deck. He is a 6-drop. So it's a lot you're paying for something really big to happen with him. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm comfortable with this deck right now, but I do see some people that, or some creatures so far, that may not be the greatest in here, and maybe better choices or cheaper choices. But as of right now, that's what we got. Odric, I put in a lot of decks. I mean, all these guys have lifelink, flying, death touch. So him being in there, being able to have everybody share it is great. So I like Odric a lot. In a lot of decks that have a lot of these abilities. I think you should never sleep on him. He's 4/3/3, but it's the ability. Giving everybody death touch if one has death touch is just nuts. And it's just very, very helpful. There's another one I wasn't too sure about. Paladin of Atonement. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life, you get a 1/1 counter. You're basically hoping you lose life with this one. So when I was looking at it before I cut off the other video, I was like, I don't know if this is good synergy. I don't want to lose life. Maybe because you lose life when you recast your commander, because she's going to die a few times. And when he dies, you gain life equal to his toughness, which, of course, could be cool. But I don't know if it's something you really want to bank on. I don't know. Regal Bloodlord, he costs a lot, but at the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, which you should be at least gaining some life, create a 1/1 black token with flying. I think that's worth it to have chump blockers, as long as they don't have trampling, of course. For 5 is a lot, but if you get this to go off all the time, I think it's totally worth it. And I do believe, actually I don't. I'm trying to think of what's her name? She makes you do a double trigger when something dies. I don't think it would help with this, but she does give your tokens abilities. I believe lifelink. So I have to look it up. I can't remember who she is. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Rudolph the Red Nose, Dustbringer, flying, death touch, lifelink. Whenever you gain life, he gains indestructible until the end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay colorless and either white or black. When you do, return target creature with your mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. I think that's a huge card, but he's a 6-drop. You should be gaining life, so it should work to recycle or cycle people back in. But it's just troublesome, him being so high, and people are not going to want him to hang around at all. He's got a bullseye on him, definitely. I still would want to keep him, though, I think. I still would want to keep him. Sign of the Swarm, flying whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter. Not bad. It's a 5 drop, 3/3, but I think that eventually would pay off, especially him being a flyer. Sarah Avatar, this is really good because it's really expensive. It's 7, but power and toughness are equal to your life total, and when it's put in your graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into your owner's hand. So it could get really crazy with him. Him. Yeah, but it's just a 7. It's kind of hard to rock out there. But I think it's nice to get it in game and kind of be a closer. If you have Odric out to make it a flyer, it could just be a game ender. Soul Warden, pretty easy. Creature comes in, gain 1 life. Suitor, Priest, another Cleric. So again, I guess that helps. Soul Warden, Cleric. Yeah, so the Cleric idea is kind of not bad. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain 1 life, and the same thing happens when opponents enters, they lose a life. So this is just a good card for 2-drop, even though it's a 1/1. It's very hectic and a pain. The Liesa, I don't know why I have her in here. She is somewhat of a nuisance. Creatures and non-basic lands that your opponents control enter tapped. It's good just to slow it down, I guess. Could she be switched out for better synergy? Probably. But I think I have her in there just to be a nuisance to kind of slow down the game if I need a breather. But yeah. Vito is one of the biggest threats for people in here. I've seen people run him as their commander. I like him a lot. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. It could get gross. You could give someone lifelink with cost of 5. Don't really need it, but when it's a big play, like Sarah Avatar you get in, and make it gain a tons of life, it's really bad. But a lot of people will kill him on sight or exile him. Usually as soon as I get him out there, I try to protect him the best I can. I usually don't put a lot of things in here like some lightning greaves or anything like that. I don't really worry too much because I want to bring him back cycling a little bit. But if not, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know. This one's another one that's up there for Scopa's Guildmage because you could pay 3 black, white, colorless on each one. Either I'm sure you could pay for both. Target creature gains life link, and when you gain life, this turn each opponent loses that much life. That's really strong for a 2-drop. It's just I hate paying extra stuff while I'm in the middle of other things. I have to keep it calculated. But I think it's worth staying in there for 2, and this could really help if you gain a lot of life and make that opponent lose a lot of life by paying 3. So I think it's a keeper. Wall of Reverence, Defender flying. So can attack at the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of your target creature you control. So again, if you have Sarah Avatar, you could get a lot of life. But a lot of these other guys get tokens. You're going to get some with some of these guys. So it depends on what's out there, what you want to pick. And I assume you could pick the Spirit Wall. May gain life equal to the power of a target creature. And it's power. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of toughness because it's a 6. Yeah, you don't want to pick the wall with a 1. Sorceries. I always don't know how to say this. Insanguate. I won with this the other night. It was crazy. My opponent had 10 left. We got everyone out of the game. 10 left life. And I was like back to the wall. And I pull this. Playing my Hydra deck. And pull this black, blue, green. And I was lucky enough to have more than 10 mana. And cast it to just end the game. Really clutch. It really helps out a lot. I think that's what it's there for to end the game. Chaos Wrath I like. There's ways to play around it. I noticed I don't have no Damnations in here. I try to spread it around a little bit, not do the same cards, but sometimes they're just too good. Like all my blue decks have Cyclonic Rift. Everyone hates me for it, but there's not much I can do when I'm in a corner. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you destroy. So if I'm getting tokens a lot, that's why I don't remember why Linda's not in here. When she dies, she makes all the vampire tokens. And then if I just board wipe them while they're out there, I get life for each of them. Yeah, but that's kind of merciless. Eviction could be good if I want to just get rid of one thing, artifacts that they're destroying me, artifact deck or enchantments, like playing my friend that plays sagas all the time. This would be a good time to play that. It is a 6. Don't know if I'm better just playing a Farewell. I play Farewells in a lot of decks that have access to white. It's just a really better card in my opinion. But yeah. We have Revival and Revenge. Revival, of course, brings back a creature. Cost 3 or less. I have a lot of 3 or less. And it goes to the battlefield, which is really nice. And then if not, I play Revenge. And it doubles my life total. Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. This one's a little different when you're a pod. Like, we play a lot of one-on-one, but when you're with the group, you got to make the right decision of who you want to hit with that, because they're going to be coming after you for sure. And Sanctify, told you I'm on one. Destroy target artifact and enchantment. You gain 1 life. It's just a way for to get rid of an artifact or enchantment and also give me life for that turn. I just need something to get rid of an artifact or enchantment if I have to. Planeswalkers, both are Kea. One's the Ghost Assassin, one's the Orzhov Usurper. The Assassin basically just lets you return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. In the beginning, you get that like blanket basically, but I lose 2 life for doing that. That's 0. That's why it's kind of like whatever. You could do it if you want. You don't have to. Each opponent loses 2 life for -1. You gain 2 life. -2, each opponent discards a card and you draw a card. That's kind of niche. It's a good Planeswalker, I think. I don't know how well it works in here. But if you need cards, it could work with a -2. +5 is a little, or 5 loyalty is kind of rough because there's no way to get more tokens on here. So I don't know. I don't know if it's worth keeping her in there. Kea, Orzhov. It's always weird to say Usurper. +1 at least is exile up to 2 target creatures from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life and at least 1 creature card will exile this way. So it's kind of good to target people's graveyard, especially if they're using their graveyard. It's awesome. But if not, but again, you don't want her early in the game because you're not really going to be able to exile stuff. But that's good to get your +1s up. That's why she starts at 3. The -1 to exile target permanent with mana value 1 or less. Not bad to get some cheap artifacts out of the way, soul rings, anything like that, just to get out of the way. I think she's more important than the other one, even though the other one has 0 costs. I don't know. Again, if anyone watches, you guys can help me decide. And then -5, she deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards that player owns in exile. So you could just do exiling with other cards, which I should probably have Path to Exile in here, which I do. So other cards that are in exile will help you out. Instance, it's weird. I don't have many instants in here. It looks like I rely a lot on my creatures, so that might be an issue. Concentrate and consume. Concentrate, exile target card from a graveyard. Another way to exile. Then target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. You gain life equal to this power. So again, this was around the time where I was playing this a lot in draft, and Orzhov just had so much cool synergy. I mean, all the guilds had good synergy at that time during drafts and stuff like that. But I just remember playing a lot of these cards like Kaz Wrath and this Concentrate and Consume. Concentrate's only 2, which is pretty good for a quick exile off the graveyard to draw a card. Especially again if they're using graveyard decks. Sorry, my glasses give me a tint, but some of these look when they're smaller, it's way harder for me to read it. But yeah, I don't mind that card being in here. Consuming Corruption deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life, where X is the number of swamps you have. I have 12 swamps. So let's say I have 6 out. That's not bad. For 2-drop, I think that's okay. Expel, I don't mind. People are going to have tapped creatures. Another card to exile something. Mortify, destroy target creature or enchantment. Another card to get rid of enchantment or creature, but basically enchantment I worry about usually because I have things that deal with creatures. And then you got Path to Exile, which everyone knows, and Swords of Plowshare, which everyone knows. These are both exiles that can help out with your Planeswalker. I think they're fine. Again, I might need more. I don't know. Enchantments is where I think I get heavy at, and they work really well. Aetherflux Reservoir. I didn't realize how much this was. I have is it Anavenom that might have it in it too? I'll have to show my Anavenom probably next. I didn't know this was such a expensive card, but it's a cheap way to win the game. That's the only thing I feel bad about. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life, and it deals 50 damage to a creature or opponent. It's just really easy in Commander because you have 40 life already. But you have to pay your life. So to be fair, it's not super cheap way to win because you do got to put some work, especially if you have a pod. But it's nice to accumulate life over the time and eventually maybe do it as a big killer at the end. A lot of people will see it coming if they get rid of artifacts, and it comes down to you and one person. They're most likely going to try to get rid of it somehow. But maybe they can't, and then that's how you could just win the game. Arcane Signet, of course. Demon's Horn. When a player casts a black spell, you may gain 1 life. I don't know why I threw this in there. I'm going to have to re-look at this deck again. How many black spells do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So you have 42 that could come into play. And it's also other players. So maybe it's not that bad of an idea. I don't know. Again, you guys can help me out. Like, I doubt anyone's ever going to watch these things, but it's fine. Whatever. I would like people to watch it so they give me some feedback. This isn't like a big top tier deck or anything. It's just something I had fun with long time ago. Gain life, lose life kind of deck, and I just messed with it a few times. Draw's Claw, Living Weapon. You guys know how that works. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. So it's pretty cool. And plus, you could just move it on to someone else if you don't want to use your Phyrexian. Fountain of Renewal. At the beginning of each upkeep, you gain 1 life. Sacrifice it to draw a card. It's kind of a nice outlet to get a card for 3. Or I'm sorry, yeah, for 3, but for 1 drop, just to have in there, just pinging away. Or pinging you away at gaining a life, not away, pinging up your life. Adds on to a lot of the effects of the other things that say if you lost this much life this turn or whatever, it just adds you 1 more. It's not that bad for having 1 in the deck and having a 1 cost to drop it. I think that's fine. Soul Ring, of course, and I enjoyed putting Wind Crystal in. I like these crystals a lot. I was late to the party with Final Fantasy, and they have a lot of fun cards, and I don't know if I should buy a box or just buy singles. There's 2 different groups of people. Everyone that says, yeah, let's rip it. It's fun to rip. I love ripping. I love ripping and gambling. But then you just get the singles you want, and it makes it probably cheaper. But I like to have commons and uncommons too in my stash, so I don't know. White spells cost you 1 less, so that's not bad. I'm not going to go count through all my white spells again, but it's 1 colorless, so there's a lot of just a lot of black-white double spells. So it might not help that much, but when you gain life, you gain it twice. So that's a big, big deal having that in here. This is something I would not move no matter how much people tell me. I think it's too good to gain life double of what you're gaining. Because some of these, you just gain 3 life, 4 life, whatever, and you'll gain 8 or 6. That's just ridiculous. Then for 6 creatures you control, gain flying and lifelink. That's a huge, huge, huge thing to get out for someone that needs to fly and get over blockers. If you have blockers, people that can block your flowers, then you're kind of screwed. But maybe you just want to get a bunch of lifelink on that creature. I don't know, and risk them for the biscuit. But I really like the Wind Crystal a lot. Now, enchantments. Authority of Councils. Creatures your opponents control enter tap. When a creature an opponent controls enters, you gain 1 life. Another nice little pinger for 1 drop. I think that's a must. I think it's really cool. Boom Reflection. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life. Another big card. That doubles your life gain, which I think is crazy. That's so good, but it is a 5 drop. So, but that's something I would not take out. Again, this is kind of cheeky life gain, you know. It's not too mean cool in win conditions or anything like that, but I don't know, I have fun with it. Campaign of Vengeance. Whenever a creature you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Again, pretty similar to a lot of things besides, or the difference is it's attacking. Caustic Tar, Enchanted Land. Target player loses 3 life, just a way to tap it. It costs 6. I don't know if it's worth being in the deck, because I don't know who I would put it on. Something really cheap. Maybe like Creeping Bloodsucker, because he doesn't have to attack really to do his effect. You put on someone that just needs to stand around. But is it worth it for 6? I don't know. Target losing 3 is really good though. It just is it worth it for 6? It's only a 35-cent star card. Doesn't mean it's not a bad card, but I don't know. Ethereal Absolution. I love this card when I played like online and played during the draft during this time. All your creatures get 1/1, which is great, and the opponents all get -1/-1. So all their tokens that they get usually die, crash, because most of the time they're 1/1s. But I mean, you'll see 2/2s and 3/3s, but it is a nice thing. The big thing is paying the 4, the exile target creature from your opponent's graveyard, and if you do, you create a 1/1 flying black-white spirit. That's kind of a big deal once you have a lot of mana. But you have to have a lot of mana to make this work, because it already costs 6 to get out. But it is very fun. If you get it out, it's very fun to play, because you're just taking out any creatures that they're trying to bring back, or if they're playing a graveyard deck. You're just, if you got the mana, just cracking them into spirits, and then you have so many cards that are like, when the creature enters, gain a life, and it's just real. Oh crap! It's just really, really good. Wow, it took me out of my whole link. That sucks balls. Let's go back there, because I don't want to edit anything. We're back. Okay. And for anyone noticing, this is I was debating on making a reaction. This girl, she got hella cussed out. She's a chess player. She got hella cussed out for like basically the guy couldn't beat her. And it's a whole other thing. But it was at a convention playing chess, and I wanted to see her reaction to another guy reacting to it. But yeah. And then all this other stuff is my homework for my classes I'm in right now. So don't be nosy. Where are we at? Exquisite Blood is huge. I didn't know I even had this card. I was like, oh, I gotta pay 40 for it somewhere. And I had it in my bulk. Whenever opponent loses life, you gain that much life. It's just such a good card. It costs 5, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Next card saved my life. Funeral Home. When a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain a life. So I opened up the door, I unlocked it, and I returned all creature cards from my graveyard. When a bunch of these were in my graveyard, things were just triggering when they came back. Soul Warden, all the creatures that came back in triggered. I was gaining life, so I gained more life. And when you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. It just, everything that I had in the graveyard that came back made that pop off so good. But it cost 8 to open it, but I was lucky. It was one of my end of the games. That's how I won the game, was opening up Awakening Hall. I was gonna say Hell, Awakening Hall, and having all those creatures come back on my field, and just looking at what triggers what triggers this, what triggers that, and it's just me. It's almost like a freaking lottery or a slot machine, just giving you all kinds of prizes. You're just gaining your life and taking life away. So that was a fun way. That is a win con, I guess, if you get enough in your graveyard, but I don't plan on getting stuff from my graveyard. This enchantment, I don't know if it's worth it. It's a land, so I don't. That's why I think I have it in there. It comes in taps, black and white. We don't play like fetch lands or anything like that. We're pretty chill. We try not to make it too broken when we play. We tutor here and there. Just depends on the deck. But I can play Vampiric Tutor in this and stuff like that. But it's just, we try to make it even playing field. And if any of us are going to do it, we kind of will work with one of our decks that play similar. So I do have a lot of tap cards come in. That's why I don't even go over my lands, because they're just so different. It's a different way to play. I do have something like Orborg Yawgmoth in here, make all my land swamps. I mean, that helps with some cards, but it's nothing crazy. Grave Venerations, this is new. I liked it. I put it in here. You bring the Monarch into the game at the beginning of your end step. If you're your Monarch, return up to target creature from the graveyard to your hand. Again, once I'm losing these guys, I won't care about blocking with some of these lower point guys or lower cost guys. And I can bring them back when a creature you control dies. Each opponent loses 1 life. You gain a life. You could trigger it pretty well. You let them die, and they have to end the step, bring them back in, and they have the inner ability, or let's say Soul Warden is in there. They come back in, they gain a life. So I don't know. I think it was a good idea. Graves Wake. I swear I got rid of this. When an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life at the beginning of your end step. If you attack with the creature, the opponent discards a card. Maybe that helps me to exile some stuff in the graveyard. But I think for 4, I don't think I should have this in here. I really think I should relook at these. Again, I wish people would watch this because they really help me. Revenge of Ravens is in there. Whenever a creature attacks you, you control that creature, or planeswalker you control. That creature loses 1 life. That creature's controller loses 1 life and gain 1 life. Basically, if they come at me, bro, they lose a life, I gain a life. And they don't have to do damage. They just have to attack me. I think that's okay. 4 is a little much, but again, it's another way to get some life. Again, maybe switchable out if we have better options. I always want to say sangria. Sanguine blood bond. I would say blood too. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So it could copy a lot of these things. It's not once per turn. You ping them for 1, or you gain 1 life for something, they lose 1 life. Gain 3 life for something, they lose 3 life. Nice way to play it. I think it's good. I didn't say mortify. Yeah, I said mortify. So that's basically it. I'm sure there's about 10 or so cards I could probably get rid of. This is only $330 of a budget so far. I don't want to spend too much more in here, but it's fun. I've won with it. I say they're all are become 3 to 4, if anything, bracket. Under the bracket, how they do it. Like for these, how they recommend, whatever they recommend is usually what I put it under, so I keep track. Like I think they recommended this a 3 bracket. Is it a 3 bracket? I have no idea. Yeah, and my lands are just kind of whatever. They're nothing crazy. I don't do too much crazy. Urborg is probably the craziest thing in there, but for the most part, I usually try to play cards that, if you have like a card, I don't like Caves or Kalos. I don't like doing damage to myself. I need to get that out. I always feel like I need a Bajuka just in case someone's playing a graveyard or they pull things out of the graveyard for certain things. I feel like I always need to have that in one of my decks, or any of my decks that have black. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I always feel like I need to. This has a good amount of lands. I really wouldn't be afraid to drop a couple lands out of this. Probably get some better lands. I know I probably have some lands that come in that say, if you control this many lands, it comes in whatever. If you have a basic, those are the more lands we like to play with. The tap lands aren't the greatest, but we'll do that. Like all these shrines, probably like one of the most nastiest we can get with each other, because we don't go too crazy, like I said, with like fetch lands and stuff like that. We could, but or someone could do it, and I don't care. It's just they're gonna have a lot more planes. Not planes. They're gonna have more chances to get mana. Radiate Fountain, when it enters, you gain 1 life, 2 life. Just a way to gain life. Nothing crazy. Of course, Soul Ring. But yeah, so I don't know. That's my Liesa deck. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I really wish people would see this and see what I can do. Instead, I gotta go and do my own homework and look at this. Like, are the planeswalkers worth having? A lot of creatures in here. I don't know if they're worth it. There's some enchantments I'm iffy on. And the cost of some stuff like this for 6 is it's a lot, but I do have a lot of mana. For me, I feel like a lot. I usually try to do 34 or so. We're at 38 with the flipper. And I think that's not a bad, it's 5 for that, but I probably use it for the mana anyways. But to make it a flying lifelink again, if you have a flyer, sometimes that helps you more. But yeah, so that is it. We're going to go to OVS and shut it off. If you guys have any questions, opinions, I'd be grateful if you answered. But yeah, hopefully I can share it on a Facebook page or something and ask if anyone could give me some help. But yeah, so we will turn off all this dumb stuff and turn off OBS, and I will talk to you guys later because I don't want to edit. Bye.